All right. So it's going to give this a few seconds because last time I did the introduction, it cuts out half the introduction. So I just wanted to wait there. Right. So this is how to do your first bodybuilding show at the age of 43. I don't know. Let's find out. So this is probably, so we've been through 1 week already of prep, and there's nothing really exciting in this point of prep. This is all about execution and making sure that everything is on point, that you're following the plan and can get through the basics of the plan. So this is coming down from food execution, steps, um, training intensity, getting your sleep in, and things like that. So, this really sets you up for when the suffering is going to be coming down the road. And that's when things get really, really tough. When the food levels get down, drop down, and that's, start going through peak week and things like that. So, right now, it's still pretty early days. The weight has been coming down. So I'm quite happy about that, although it has slowed down a little bit this week already, which I'm a little bit confused by. I'm not quite sure that's why that's happening, but we keep pushing forward and we keep moving on. So right now, food has stayed the same. So around about just under 3,000 calories on training days and 2,700 on rest days. Today's a rest day, so I'll be doing that. And steps are around about 13,000 steps every single day, and that's excluding cardio. And we are doing 30 minutes of cardio every single day. So normally the advice is to do the cardio post workout. With my timelines and schedules and things like that, I just can't fit that in. So what I've been doing instead is just doing fasted cardio. So I ran this past Alan. He's more than happy with doing the fasted cardio first thing in the morning, just so long as we get in the cardio in. And all I'm really doing is just taking a brisk walk on the treadmill and just getting those steps in. So my cardio session is about 3,500 steps plus minus. Doesn't count towards my total steps. I still got to put in another 13,000 steps on top of the cardio. So it's a fair amount of walking, fair amount of cardio that needs to be getting done. But it is part of the game. It's what we signed up for at the end of the day. So I'm just looking at the latest for my latest progress photo. And we'll go through what's happened there. Just going to share it quickly. All right, down like that view. There we go. Right, so this was me this morning. Not a lot's changed since the first photos that I showed you a bit earlier, but I've gone from 102 kilos or 226 pounds down to 100.8 kilograms or 222 pounds in about a week. So pretty good drop, bit more definition coming in in the obliques, getting a little bit tighter here. Little bit more definition coming in slowly but surely as we go along. So that's coming in quite nicely, especially in the chest area when I'm flexing. That's coming through. So we're getting there slowly but surely. Nothing really spectacular to scream to the hilltops, but it is coming around nicely. And, this is the whole point, is we got to get everything moving forward. So the way the food is structured right now, I did mention to you what the calories are that we're moving towards. Right now, we work off a meal plan. It's pretty straightforward. It makes life a lot easier. You're just focusing on the same meals and eating them day after day after day. And to be honest with you, I prefer that because that really drives down decision fatigue. I don't have to worry about, what I'm going to cook, what I'm going to eat, what I'm going to make, blah, blah, blah. It's the same thing over and over again. Now, a lot of people might complain about that and say, oh, I need variety. I need variety. I guarantee you now that most people don't actually have that much variety. They think they do, but they don't. They just eat the same stuff all the time. Even if you're in an unhealthy diet, you're probably eating the same junk food. Same thing here when you're eating healthy food, you're just eating the same thing over and over again. This is something I learned from a client when he was expressing his transformation journey. So quite a bit of information there. But it is important that we, keep things simple. And this way I know what to do, how much groceries I need to buy, what I'm going to be eating, when I'm going to be eating it, and everything just ticks along perfectly. So it works a lot easier. It's not exciting. It's not, flamboyant. But this part of the prep that's definitely not what it's all about. It's definitely about keeping things in check and making sure that everything is going according to plan. Now, hunger wise is not too bad at this point in time. Still quite a bit of food that I'm going through. Training is still pretty intense. And as we get deeper and deeper, getting closer to the show, the biggest thing that we're going to be aiming for is trying to make sure that we keep the strength up as much as possible. Now, you are going to get weaker as you're training, but the mindset is to try to be as strong as possible. And this is when you're trying to lose body fat, even if it's not a competition, just your normal dropping body fat. If you're new to training, you're probably going to pick up a lot of strength very, very quickly because it's a new stimulus. But if you've been training for a long time, you just want to try and maintain your strength as much as possible. That's where the key comes in from the weight training perspective. So yeah, that's pretty much about it from that perspective. From training side, I mean, there are some reels that I've set up with regards to training and some of the training. So the last reel that I did was basically arms training base, and that's what we're moving forward. Yeah, and it's just, keeping, just doing my thing. Gonna have to start doing some posing pretty soon. I know Alan is going to be reaching out with regards to doing some posing because I've never done posing before. So I'm absolutely not terrified, but I'm very nervous about the whole posing thing. I think that's probably my biggest, how shall I say, anxiety moment right now. So that is something that I'm going to need to look into, whether I'm going to be hiring a coach or not. I'm not too sure just yet, but that's definitely something that needs to be taken into consideration. And I want to be able to get on stage and be comfortable as much as possible and just do the things that I need to do when it comes to posing. So that decision should be happening before the next video on what's happening there. And then it's the decision of whether I'm going to hire someone local. Am I going to hire someone overseas? Do I just leave it with Alan? What is the best, move for me right now? I just think right now to get extra stuff in is always going to be more important. But I also feel that I need to get a little bit leaner in order to really know what I'm doing with the posing side of things. But we will see come next week. Like I said, we will have that information. Well, have that decision and then let you guys know unless something else changes moving forward. But yeah, it's just about accuracy now. It's just making sure that I'm hitting the foods, hitting the steps, getting the training in, and just being militant right now and getting into that groove, because the more I'm into that groove, the more momentum I've got moving into it. When things get harder, it should be easier to stay on track, but we're going to see. I remember for the photo shoot, probably about a week or 2 weeks before the shoot, foods were pretty low. I think it was like 1,800 calories or 1,700 calories, thereabout. And my wife literally had to drag me off the couch to actually go and get steps in. And normally I'm quite a quick, fast walker, and my wife would complain about me walking too fast. But during those weeks, she was way ahead of me, probably about 2-3 paces ahead of me, and I was just dragging. So I'm anticipating that to be even worse this time around. But it's just stuff that you got to get done. And if you've got a goal, whether it's just to lose a little bit of weight or a lot of weight, whatever the case may be, it doesn't necessarily have to be for a photo shoot or a bodybuilding show. These are the sort of things that you have to do. You have to find the time to get the steps in. You got to find the time to do the work that needs to be done. And honestly, probably the best thing to do is try and get majority of it done first thing in the morning. I know that might require you to wake up earlier and get those steps in, but it's a lot easier to get the bulk of it done and then just having to catch up a little bit later on in the evening than having to catch up a whole big chunk at the end of the day, because can be quite demoralizing knowing that you got to do like 6,000, 7,000, 10,000 steps before you can go to bed. So the plan is to try and get as much steps done first thing in the morning, on top of the cardio. So do the cardio and then get onto the steps as quickly as I can. And then just keep everything nice and simple. Remove decision fatigue with the food selections and just keep it easy moving forward. Also got to be checking my emotions and my mood moving forward, and that's something I need to keep a very, very close eye on to make sure that I don't cause any disruption for the family, sort of a thing. So it's really something that's playing on my mind as well, along with the posing. So those are two big things that are there. Cool. I think that's about it for today, or this week, should I say. Can't think of anything else. So if you want to check out some of the video reels, they are on TikTok and Instagram. And if there's anything else you guys want to chat, you're more than welcome to. Trying to think. Yeah, and if ever you guys catch me on a live stream, you're more than welcome to ask me a couple of questions. I'd be more than happy to answer them in the chats on the different platforms. I think that should all come through. So I haven't used Restream before, so let me know if you guys were chatting or not, if I didn't answer, etc. And yeah, just enjoy the rest of your day. I'll come back to you guys with next week to let you know where the progress is. Other than that, take care, God bless, and put your weights away, and we will chat next week. Thanks very much.